All right, Kevin Feige on Marvel Studios' future, focusing on lower budgets. About damn time. Less TV and more Robert Downey Jr. Look at Superman. It's clearly not superhero fatigue. No, it's crappy movie fatigue. But all right. Starts off with Angela. You left here as a test to see who would try to break the lock here. I'm not sure what quote that is from, but Kevin Feige was teasing a small group of journalists, including from Variety, while sitting at one end of the most storied conference rooms in Hollywood, in the heart of Marvel Studios offices on the Disney lot in Burbank. He was there to talk about the past, present, and future of the studio. He's led since Robert Downey Jr. declared himself to be Iron Man in 2008.
The good old
This
days.
Right. This is true to a sense because at that time he was one of many people who was doing Marvel, and slowly over time he got rid of them. And as he got rid of those people, you can see the quality kind of went away. So, all right. And I guess he was Marvel's communications chief Angela Shaw, so I guess that's the Angela he was referring to. Covered the after brought Feige into the room and gadget opposite wall, covered in the shutter doors are secured with a padlock behind him, and he explained with a smile, "Our plans for the next are the plans for the next 7 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Traditionally, it's a 5-year plan. It goes into 2032 right now. They have a 7-year plan, but they can't make a Blade movie. Explain that to me. It's like Blade is the most simplest thing. It is a badass dude who beats up vampires. Pick a time period. He's not that old, so you can't really go back that far. And you had chosen time period, 1930. You went as far as making the costumes and outfits for the cast, and then you crap that out. Now, I got to watch Sinners yesterday, so I got to see at least the uniform, the outfits were used. Uh,
Oh, that's the same one they were going to use? Or
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like in the 1930s, and he's
oh,
going to
right,
be
yeah, yeah.
fighting Klansmen vampires.
Mhm.
Yeah, because black movie has to have hip hop and racial tension for some reason. Though it's been quite hasn't been quite 7 years since he last did this, it's still rare that Feige gives an interview of this length and candor. But after some ice-breaking small talk, in which the Marvel chief creative officer shared his thoughts on the DC Studios Superman, more on that in a bit. Feige made it clear he's spending Friday before the premiere of the Fantastic Four First Steps, 37 films. That's crazy. 37 film and 54th title overall in the MCU, speaking on the record.
That's a lot.
With 50 hours of stories between 2007 and 2019. But in 6 years since Avengers Endgame concluded the Infinity Saga, we've had well over 100 hours of stories in half the time. That is insane. He said that's too much. No shit. Not
Really?
every, right. And not everybody's gonna watch all this stuff. So if you don't watch all this stuff, you have no idea what's going on. It's like, why is this particular person significant? And why is this particular storyline is significant? I don't know because I didn't watch the 57 TV shows you made that a handful of people watch.
Too much content, too much subpar content.
Right. So, he said that the company entered a period of experimentation and evolution. What do you mean? What you mean is we went very woke because Hollywood was at the time, and we made all this stuff, and it didn't make any money. Do you think if it made money that they will be saying that it's experimental? No,
No.
no. We tried some stuff, uh, and got us nowhere. I was always thought if you take success and it doesn't and don't experiment with it, don't risk oh shit risk with it, then it's not worth it. What we also ended up focusing on because Disney Plus was expansion, and it's that expansion I think led people to say it used to be fun, but now I have to know everything about all of these. Should have thought of that when you did all this. And like again, I would say if it worked, I don't think you'd be saying this.
So true.
Yeah. Like he believes that the well-documented problems for Marvel has been facing over the last few years stem from an overabundance of supply, not simply
Really?
a yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. That is my sentiment as well. Again, I will say it a third time. If it worked, he would not be saying this, right? But it didn't. And the problem is not that you didn't have too much stuff, because all right, if you know a little history, when westerns were popular, there were western every damn thing, western TV shows, western movies, blah 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 blah. Right? Everybody liked the western though, so they just went to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. That was fine. It would have been fine if all the shows and things were good, but they weren't because you hired a bunch of people based on identity, not talent. So you wind up with a person doing Wanda and the Scarlet Witch who did not know that the kids come, like when people asked her about Mephisto, who you just showed in in your last little train wreck that has nothing to do with Mephisto. So she didn't know who Mephisto was, even though the story that she is telling is friggin' he is everything about this story, from the reason why she has the kids, what happens afterwards, all of that. It is all about Mephisto. And this lady had zero idea who Mephisto was. So you're taking the story beats. Apparently, she must have got a copy of some comic books or something. So she's taking all the story beats. So when everybody who understands the story is expecting Mephisto to show up, and they're asking, well, who's Mephisto? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? Is it this person? Is it her? Is it this? Blah 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 blah. And when it turns out to be nobody, because the lady you had running everything had no idea who Mephisto was. Yeah, that is the problem. So it is not too much. I mean, you can have a little too much, but it wouldn't have fell off a cliff like this if it wasn't for the fact that you had incompetent people writing stuff. You do a Doctor Strange and you make Doctor Strange about Scarlet Witch instead of Doctor Strange, and then you show everybody the Mr. Fantastic that they want, and then you kill him in the dumbest way possible after we've seen him for like 5 minutes. What does that have to do with supply and demand? Right? Nothing.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah, that is stupid ideas that y'all had when y'all were experimenting. Okay. Da, 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 da. He said, look at Superman. He said the hit film. Hit in America, not so much outside. Which opened at 125 million domestically, has grossed 407 globally to date. It is clearly not superhero fatigue. No, it is bad product fatigue. Liked it a lot. I love jumped into it. You don't know who Mr. Fantastic is. Tough, you'll figure it out. This is a fully fleshed out world, which is one of, and I'll probably do a little review of it. Did you get a chance to see it?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Mr. Terrific is actually pretty good in it, but that is another point. And okay, he explained. He said, but Marvel dramatic increase in volume spread Marvel far too thin for its relatively small team of executives to keep up. For the first time ever, quantity trumped quality. We spent 12 years working on the Infinity Saga, saying that it's never going to happen to us. We always had more characters than we could possibly make because we weren't going to make a movie a month. And suddenly there's a mandate to make more, and we go, well, we do have more. And you also got rid of everyone who helped you build the MCU. I love how he leaves that particular part out. So yeah, you're basically the lead singer of the band, and you got rid of all the other founding members of the band, and then you can't figure out how come y'all don't sell records no more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is
good
why.
analogy.
That's pretty much what happened. Okay, starting 2023. Okay, only 3 of the 22 films in Infinity Saga grossed less than 500 worldwide since the pandemic. 7 out of 13 have failed to reach that milestone. My viewership for Marvel streaming shows meanwhile has steadily declined, according to data from Luminate. Also, recently, the Thunderbolts, which earned some of the best reviews Marvel's received in years, only grossed $380 million. All right, so I'm just going to the end. All right, everything. Could see Miss Oh, C of television schedule when Marvel greenlights a project. If when or if audience will see Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, or Cerise Theron again. He provided the updated status of Blade with Mahershala Ali and confirmed widespread fan speculation that 2027's Avengers Secret Wars will not only conclude the multiverse saga, provide a reset for the entire MCU, including a new cast for the X-Men films. All right. I'm not sure. Like, they're I don't know how they're gonna conclude this. Like, to be honest, because the multiverse stuff you sprinkled into the other ones, but you did it based on the fact that it was Kang. So you explain who Kang was, you built him up, even though you did it poorly, you still built it up who he was. And you're gonna lead into a whole fight between the Avengers and whoever the Avengers would turn out to be and him. Then what happened with him happened. You decided to get rid of Kang, and then you're going into Doom. And while that is a part of the multiverse saga, there is so much stuff that you need to explain. I have no idea how you're going to do that in 2 movies.
Hopefully with luck.
Bro, it's luck ain't got nothing to do with it. You actually have to, like, you can redo everything with Secret Wars because that's essentially what happened in that comic book. But then you gotta tell who the Molecule Man is. Then you gotta explain who Doctor Doom is, and you're trying to figure out who Doctor Doom is without introducing the Fantastic Four in an entirely different universe with no Doctor Doom. So their main dude is going to be introduced over here, but you're doing the Fantastic Four over there. And then there's an article that about that we'll touch on, but it's like I don't know how they're gonna do this. To be perfectly honest, I'm curious to see what they do, but given their track record, I
Don't
don't
have a
know,
lot
dude.
of faith.
Not really, dude. All right. So there'd be a lot less television. Yeah, exciting Marvel TV shows in the 2010s, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Netflix, which you guys had nothing to do with. The only thing that y'all had to do with it was the name on the bottom of the thing. It had completely different showrunners y'all had no control over, and a bunch of other stuff, and they were kind of tied. Like that and Shield was kind of tied to the MCU, but there was because they were street level heroes, and the people they were fighting were street level. They didn't play an effect on the overall Avengers story. So you can watch the movies and like not watch these television shows, and nothing would be like lost because while in Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Iron Fist and like that, they did mention the event that happened in New York. So it played in like the movies would play effect on the TV shows. The TV shows did not play an effect on the movies, which they probably should have stayed there. All right, so which was supported by a separate non-defunct division of Marvel Entertainment. They had a tenuous connection to the MCU at all. Yeah, like I just explained. I think allowing a TV show to be a TV show is what we're returning to. They shouldn't, like I said, they should have never stopped. Active the events at the end of Thunderbolts, where most of the population of Manhattan was enveloped in an inky black shroud of depressive nothingness, would affect season 2 of the NYC based Disney Plus series. He said no. It didn't even affect the press who were covering the event, who were stuck in the inky blackness of depression because they didn't even ask about it. So, like at the end of Thunderbolts, when she introduced them as the new Avengers, The press didn't even ask like, "What the hell was this? What just happened?" It's like they didn't care. So, all right. Okay, this is fluff, 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 and they're gonna reduce. I don't like when things sit on shelves. It's things to delay, especially affected Wonder Man, which follows an aspiring actor, Abdul Mateen, with hidden superpowers as he tries to land a role in the TV series playing a superhero. Okay. That is not the history of Wonder Man, but okay. So I guess this, like, given the fact that he's black and not white, so this is a different thing. Fine. Are you looking in? Are you interested in watching that?
I don't know.
Because I think they're supposed to come out later this year. I think. Diversity still matters, but don't expect to see Miles Morales, probably because Sony won't let them use him. If it's my guess. Since the man said, all right, so it's all the LGB people of color, all this nonsense. Press this question. He's unconcerned. Marvel represents the world outside your window. I've always said it. Before DEI and woke became a thing, and after DEI and woke became a thing, are we after? I don't think so. He singled out Miss Marvel and the Marvel star Iman. Well, okay. It's one of the greatest bits of casting we've ever done. I can't wait to see her somewhere. No one watched her television show, so nobody would know who you are talking about. So if you stuck her, nobody watched this. Nobody watched what? No, nobody watched this. Nobody will know who she is. Nobody's because nobody watched the Eternal, so nobody's gonna know who he is. I don't know who the hell he is.
I know. I was about to say, who's that guy in the bottom right?
Right. So he's Joe Lock, whatever. And Agatha's all along. Did not watch a single
Oh,
second of that television show. So
that's probably why.
I'm assuming that he's gay. Because no, they had a gay character in it, a prominent gay character in it. Why that's an important thing, I don't know. Like, if you're gay, good for you. That should have no effect on whether or not your character is good or bad or whatever, because that don't affect that. It is your personality, how you see the world, and how you act. That is the most important thing. Sexuality, color, none of that stuff is important because that's the assumption that everyone who has your particular thing think and talks the same way, and we know they do not. All right, so whatever such thing left, and Marvel's whatever Khan appeared to recruit Steinfeld's Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, just are in Sinners. Kate
Yeah, she
Bishop,
was
the
there.
people. Yeah. Well, Feige danced around a question about whether Young Avengers as a film, TV series, or special is on the horizon because nobody will watch it. They won't know who these people are. They don't like they like the regular Hawkeye, and you guys apparently pushed him on the shelf by trying to lowball him. You're not gonna come just like in the comic books, they didn't really care about the replacements. They're not gonna care about the replacements now. He was more definitive about the potential of another highly anticipated Marvel character, Spider-Man's Miles Morales, showing up in the MCU in the near future. That is nowhere, he said, until Sony Pictures, which holds the film right to the character, completes its animated Miles trilogy in 2027 Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. We have been told to stay away. As I said previous, Sony said no. Y'all putting out a bunch of crap. We putting out enough bunch of crap. We have a character that people seem to be looking forward to. We are not going to let you ruin him, in which they have been doing in the comic books for a while now. Like them calling him Spider-Man when he's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man is Peter Parker. They should have just made him his sidekick, like Robin to Batman, like Batman's Robin. Then you could have created genuine people for him, like they did with Nightwing in the comics. Has his own. Is they slowly gave him his own rogues gallery. You could have did that with Miles Morales and made him his own character because people refers to him as Miles Morales, not Spider Man. And it used to be a thing if you went on to X and said that Peter Parker is Spider Man and Miles Morales is Miles Morales. It would start a flame war that would have never thought of. People yelling and screaming at you about how that's not true. Because we live in a weird world where people get that upset about fictional characters. All right, the Marvel method is here to stay. Just won't be as expensive. Greenlight projects that have a complete script. And there's a pointed difference between Marvel Studios, which sometimes announce projects with release dates before the writer has been hired, let alone before a script has been completed. Famously rework movies throughout the filmmaking process. The Fantastic Four star Eben Moss Backrack told Variety he didn't think the script was fully ready when the cast began 3 weeks of rehearsal before filming. So we are sort of workshopping the movie in a way. Feige, okay. I'm kind of skipping over stuff because it's just a little dry. Don't look for the Avengers to set up shop in London anytime soon. Super teams next to Adventures, Doomsday, and Secret Wars are produced in London's Pinewood Studios. Yeah, until those tax credits that Newsom was proposing, I kick in. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Latest in the long on big budget films, The Camp from UK. The movie has left many in the industry raising an alarm about runaway production. A message that President Trump briefly embraced when he floated the idea of imposing tariffs on foreign made blockbusters. There was a time, it's not right now, but there's a time when we made a deal 5 or 6 years ago where everybody was fighting for stage space and in the great expanse, and not just us, but everybody. He was referring to the explosive production that accompanied streaming revolution. So we had the opportunity to lock up Pinewood, which is why many of our movies will be there for the foreseeable future. They ask about Charlize Theron and the internals. Nobody cares about that. Kang's future. Um, hmm, uh, so I don't know. So what do you think?
I don't know. I have don't lacking some faith in them to like turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the way things are going, I do like the fact that they're acknowledging, like, oh, if
Mm-hmm.
it's too much content and it's content that people don't really care about, so at least they're kind of like, looking at the mirror.
Well, during my, I've been saying this for a while though, for the last few years. At some point, they need to really. These are corporations. They need to make money. Simple as that. Is you keep spending 300, 200, whatever $1 million on stuff, and you're not making your money back, or you're making a little bit of money, and it's like it's damaging your brand. At some point, you need to sit back and be like, all right, okay, maybe we need to go down a different path.